How does it feel to have what's being called one of the best action movies in years?
I mean, it's like a huge honor to kind of be considered that. I'll be honest, when we finished the movie, I didn't expect it to kind of get the reaction that it has. So it's kind of everything that's happened since Toronto has kind of just blown us away. So yeah, just very happy to be here and just super excited to see how the audience here reacts to it.
Yeah, I'm super excited too. You know, just dreams of, watching anime films to see somebody take levels and levels of super badass people. What brought through the idea of the raid?
The raid actually was like a plan B project. It was like a backup thing. We wanted to do a different film first, but we couldn't get the budget for it. So then when we were deciding we needed to do something on a lower budget, that informed the idea of having it all in one location. And so once I kind of decided to do that, it was just a case of going back and looking at all those different films that influenced me that I really loved as a kid. So watching Die Hard, Assault on Precinct 13, Escape from New York, all those different films. So those were things that kind of were sort of leaping off points then in order to create the raid.
So are you already planning the sequel?
Yeah, I'm finishing up the script for it now, and hopefully we can start shooting in January next year.
Very nice. What was the idea? Why the name change?
The name change came about I actually wrote up on a blog about it to kind of explain it, but it was one of those things where we tried and Sony tried for a long time to keep it just as the raid, because all of us wanted to release it like that, and it was a clearance issue, so we couldn't get it. It was just, it was impossible for us to get that title, and so once we knew that we weren't able to use like the raid by itself, we didn't want to lose the raid completely, because we'd spent 5 months raising awareness for the film under the raid. So we figured, well, we have to add something to it in order to keep it the raid something or other. And Redemption was, without wanting to give away a spoiler, became one of the sort of subplots of the film then. So
it definitely fits in. I love the poster.
It fits in once you've seen the film, I think, in a way. But it was one of those things, we kind of toyed around with the idea of making part 2 and part 3 have a subtitle to it. We weren't going to do it in part 1. But once we realized we had no choice, and we decided, okay, well, we'll shift the subtitle into part 1 then.
Well, I am so excited to see this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, thank you. And when I met him, he was like a delivery guy for Home Company.
Hey, what's up, Mike? How's it going? Yes.
Represented in Indonesia.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to see you guys. So what brought you guys in to compose the raid?
I was approached by the folks at Sony, and I think one of the places they really went right is, normally people just come in and they want to use a little bit of Linkin Park flavor and then throw my name on the poster, which I'm totally not comfortable with. I think in this one, Kier from Sony came to me and cited my Fort Minor project, a few remixes I had done, and those are things I did for fun. So this movie, I was thinking I've always love the idea of doing a score, and to be able to get some experience doing it and have fun in the process was definitely a winning situation for me.
So does it help to see somebody like Trent Reznor win an Oscar and then?
I mean, for me, if you're going to go that route, and people keep talking about musicians who have gone the route of scoring films. I mean, let's talk about I don't know, Danny Elfman. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For real.
Tradition here of bringing. I mean, what Mike brings to the table as an artist is so interesting and so cool that if he focuses his energy on scoring film, you're obviously going to get something super cool out of it. I think that's something to learn.
Yeah. And I don't want to. That's not the way I said that. I realize that I want to say that's not a knock on Trent Reznor. I actually do love his stuff.
No, we both do. Definitely.
You worked with JMJ on stuff for M83.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Justin's an awesome producer. That's what's awesome about all these experiences is I have to pinch myself so often. I do a lot of work on my own in this industry, but what's great about my collaborations is I get to learn so much from the other people I work with, and I hope that when I get to work with them, they get to do the same thing. That they get to learn about how scoring works, and there are a lot of really technical aspects about that, a lot of really specialized things about working with picture.
I mean, this is a mashup of epic proportions.
I really felt good when I first talked to Joe. I made a little list of people I wanted to talk to kind of help. I don't know, it's in the beginning I realized I wasn't going to be able to carry this thing on my own. I just didn't have, first of all, I didn't have the time. I had a tour in Asia that I had to do, and if I didn't have somebody else kind of helping me push this thing along, it wouldn't get done in time. And so I talked to a few people, and once I talked to Joe, it was the decision was so easy, because I think one thing that I realize now about the way that Joe works that drew me in is that he's comfortable like being in front, like as far as working on a score. He's capable of doing a whole movie by himself. But really, for me, there were times when it's like if I had an idea and I was running with it and I had momentum, he plays a great supporting role. He's willing to just take the ego back down to zero and just sit and wait and be supportive, and whatever I want to do, he's going to let me run with the ball. And then when I stop and I say, now what should we do here, he can step right out in front and be a leader again. And like to be able to do both and turn it on and off like that is something that we do in my band every day, and I wasn't going to be able to work with somebody else who didn't do that.
Yeah, and that's a really important part of filmmaking, because we are not the center. As film composers, we're not the center of attention. So we need to make sure that we help convey the story. And there are times, obviously, where we get to step out in front and really drive the picture, and you need to be able to pick up, like Mike is saying, you need to be able to pick up the ball and run with it and carry it yourself. But most of the time, you're really playing that supporting role, and that is where the art is.
Yeah. I mean, both your guys' music, total respect, but thank you so much. No problem. I love everything you guys do.
Thanks. Hey, by the way, just one important thing. I'm not M83. I collaborated with him on the album. All right, cool. Some of the people have been mentioning, saying,
I was telling Joe,
we got some weird press out
one
there.
guy writes a weird blog thing about him being in the band,
Right.
and then people get confused.
Yeah, you just did a little bit of production.
I did
work, just like
orchestrations,
J&J.
exactly.
Right.
Well, JMJ oversaw the whole thing,
Right.
and I came in and
But
helped
a lot
out
of
with some
people
tracks.
confuse J&J as being an
Yeah,
intermediary.
exactly. He's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
great
We
guy.
love JMJ.
Thank you.